For the record, this matter is before the court on the plaintiff mother's objections to provisions in a judgment of support, which the court notes was entered by consent of the parties. In the event this hearing is being conducted via Zoom, it appears both parties are present. Ma'am, you're Harmony Orange, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Ms. Orange, and it appears sir, you're Tristan Griffer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, both of you. The two of you met with Ms. Patrick from the front of the court, and it was provided the court with the following recommendation that referee recommended order that judgment of support be adopted but modified. Rather than week on, week off parenting time, it's being recommended that fathers should have parenting time from Friday at 5 p.m. until Monday at 5 p.m. The parties that will do the parenting time exchanges at the Monroe City Police Station on 3rd Street. It's actually 2nd Street, is it not, Ms. Patrick?
I believe you're correct, Your Honor. I believe that would be 2nd Street. Would you like me to fix that?
I think everybody knows. I just want to make sure there's a public safety station on 3rd Street, is it not? And I want to make sure the parties make sure that they, which is a fire department. I don't know at what time they're talking about housing police department down there. I just,
it was the police station across the street from the courthouse, Your Honor. Right. I'll change it.
I'll make it so everyone's clear it's on 2nd Street. The court recognizes we have a young child here. Right, Ms. Horns, is this recommendation agreeable with you this morning?
Yes.
So the two of you will continue to share joint physical custody. The only thing is parenting time. Rather than week on, week off, it'll be every weekend. Mr. Griffer, do you understand the recommendation this morning?
I understand the recommendation, Your Honor.
Do you have any objection to the court adopting the recommendation?
I don't necessarily like the timing. I believe that the week on, week off was working out just fine. At least on our end over here. I think that Friday to Monday is just not a whole lot of time. I really enjoy the time that I spend with Liam, and that seems like a lot less time to me.
Acting to the recommendation, is that correct?
I believe so, Your Honor. Yes.
Well, what do you mean you believe so? Either you do or you don't. It's a yes or no question. It's not, well, maybe. The reality is time can be modified at any time, but it's got to be a change of circumstances.
I apologize, Your Honor. I'm not used to court systems. This is very new to me. Yes, I would like to object to the new recommendation. All
right, Ms. Orange, the court system, we can't have people changing their mind every other week. You agreed to this on May 7th, a month ago, 2 months ago. What's the change in circumstances? Why should we? I mean, we just can't willy-nilly change our mind because we talked with our sister or our mom, or why? What's been the change that should convince this court to modify parenting time?
So for the longest time, we were doing only weekends. It was very recently, right before the court date, that I had agreed to it. When I had agreed to it, Tristan and I he was actually at my house for 3 days. He came and stayed the night with me. We were taking Liam to the park. We were planning on taking him to the zoo. I guess I got more so wrapped up in enjoying the family time that I didn't know how any of this worked. And I thought that if I hadn't agreed to that, Tristan would be put on child support, which I did think if I was put on WIC, he would too. And I warned him of that. When I agreed to it, I thought I'd be seeing Liam more. And I did tell Tristan, if we do week on, week off, I want to be able to, if I'm missing him, I want to see him. And he was like, well, we can figure that out. Well, when he stayed the night, he was here the morning of the Zoom call. We did it together in my house, and I had agreed. He stayed like a day or two longer, and then right after that, I feel like, and it's my fault. I felt like I had been a little manipulated because right after he had said, we don't need to be doing things together with Liam anymore. And then he threatened me saying Liam's birthday was his week. And it just made me realize that I was going to be spending that whole week away from Liam, even if I missed him. Liam has a routine with me. He has his own bedroom. I give him baths at 8 o'clock. Whereas Liam is in a basement over there. And as she said on the Zoom call, Liam is being taken from 1 week, getting adjusted and used to being in his own home, and then getting taken. And Tristan does live with his uncle, and they live in an unfinished basement. He's going over there, and then he has to readjust for a whole week. I don't think it's fair to me or Liam to be taken away from each other for 7 whole days, especially if Tristan's going to say that, well, his birthday is on my week, or anything. Like, originally when we had talked and before, it was very, I don't know how to say it, constantly argumentative. he had agreed that I would probably be able to see Liam if I missed him, but I was very skeptical of doing it in the first place. And I do apologize for changing my mind. I thought things would be a little different.
Well, the reality is that your child's gonna have to learn to adjust the rest of his life because the two of you are not married, you're not living together. And so that child's gonna go back and forth, back and forth. You're gonna have issues the rest of the child's life, at least until the child's 18, when he's an adult. Ms. Patrick, the court's torn about this because we can't have people just changing their minds. There needs to be some sort of change in circumstances. And other than Mr. Griffer the child living in a basement, do you think there's any other basis to change this?
Well, Your Honor, the child is only 10 months old. Also, I am a little concerned about mom saying that she feels she was coerced into this and maybe it might have been misled. I have no way of knowing that, Your Honor. My biggest concern is this child is only 10 months old. It just seems like that is an awful, and I had told the parties that if they hadn't agreed to this, it probably would not have been recommended. But based on the pleading that mom put in with her objection, have a concern that maybe she was misled or she may have been coerced into agreeing to this.
All right. All right. Thank you, Ms. Patrick. All right. Having heard from both parties and the court will rely upon it in front of the court will adopt the recommendation. Father's parenting time should be weekends, Friday at 5 to Monday at 5, and the two of you shall meet at the city police department to exchange the child. I presume, Mr. Griffer, both of you have a child seat, correct?
Yes.
For this overnight, it's a young child. You have a crib for the child?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, I trust the basement is not real good, ideal long-term conditions for the child. You're sleeping on a different floor than this 10-month-old child. Is that correct?
No, we sleep on the same floor together. We'll be moving soon up to a different floor. It was only temporary.
All right. I mean, it should be on the same floor as this young child. It's not a 4-year-old child. It's a 10-month-old.
Yes, no. Sorry, Your Honor.
So, and you know, obviously, parent time can always be modified. So as the child gets older, Mr. Griffer, you can always petition the court to modify parent time. Circumstances are going to change. Your employment, where you reside, you could be living farther away, closer to each other. So circumstances change. Either side can petition for further modification of parenting time, but at this point in time, the court will modify parenting time to give father every weekend, Friday at 5 to Monday at 5. Holidays, if you cannot agree upon holidays, the front of the court holiday schedule will apply. Namely, alternate the child's birthday. Mom is every Mother's Day, dad is every Father's Day. Go online, get the front of the court holiday schedule, and that's how you handle holidays. It addresses all the holidays, including 4th of July. So when are we going to start this? Will dad have this coming Friday, the 5th of July?
Liam is currently with Tristan because it was his week. He is up north with him. I don't think they will be back until Sunday. So I guess I could probably just get Liam back Monday and he'll just have him that extra night for this week.
That makes sense. So we'll just the servers on the same page when we leave here. So you'll meet at 5 o'clock on Monday. Mr. Grifford, bring the child back to mom at the meeting at the city police department. Okay.
Yes, sir. One question. Just so that we're not entirely confused on the meeting place. So when I had suggested that we go to the sheriff's department, my understanding is that there is a parking lot on the I want to say the 3rd Street side of the facility, where most of the Monroe County Police.
There's a parking lot on the 2nd Street adjacent to the sheriff's department. Or you can pull it up. It's the same complex. The city police and the sheriff's department, the same complex.
The exchanges are done in the front, sir. There's parking spots in the front of the building. The exchanges are done in the front of the building. The lot you're talking about, that's like an employee lot where they park the police cars. The exchanges are not done there. So you would go around to the 2nd Street. That's what the court was saying. They're done in front of the building, which is on 2nd Street.
Okay, I may be confused the first time we do this, but I think I understand where to go.
So it's a combined law enforcement facility. It's the sheriff department and city police. It's located on 2nd Street. You can pull right up in front of the building and exchange.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Patrick. All right, that will conclude this hearing. You can both zoom out. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.